Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Sumi here, and a lot of you have been sending me DMs asking about the process, the step-by-step process of applying to Canada. So one thing I'm going to tell you is that if you are planning to come to Canada, sit down and watch this video, because this is not 2020 immigration anymore that we all know. Things have changed, and if you don't understand how the immigration system works, nobody's going to pick you. You're just going to be in the pool for years and nobody's going to pick you. Step guide that can help you in this 2026. So Canada is no longer searching for people to invite under the express entry draw, because right now Canada is no longer about vibes. They don't just do random draws anymore. It's strategic. They have a structure, and they have a particular skill set of people that they are currently inviting in 2026. One plug, if you are planning to come to Canada in 2026, should be canada.ca. When I tell people do your own research, I mean go there and do your own research. You don't have to send different immigrants DM to help you with your application. Go do the research yourself. So I advise you, the first step into immigrating to Canada should be know the website, canada.ca. I'm going to tag it down here also, canada.ca. That should be your number one plug. Once you get there, go to the IRCC immigration page. If it's not there, if an information is not in canada.ca, be careful about who is giving you that information. Be careful about who is giving you that advice. Even me, if I come here and I say something and you can't find it or verify that information in canada.ca, leave a comment and tell me, Sumi, I can't really find this information in canada.ca. So please, your first step is know the website. Canada.ca should be your plug. The next step is to check your eligibility first. What I mean by checking your eligibility is check if you qualify. So after you check your eligibility, there are three major pathways under the express entry route. So the first one is the Federal Skilled Worker Program. So the Federal Skilled Worker Program, a lot of people call it the FSP. Basically, they are looking for people who have foreign work experience. So if you're outside Canada with a foreign work experience within the skill sets that are looking for, you should go for the FSWP. Then they have the CEC, which is the Canadian Experience Class. This is usually for people who are already working in Canada, experience class. So the CEC is for people already inside Canada. So if you are inside Canada and let's say you came in as a student and you have the qualifications within that same skill set that they are looking for, you should apply under the CAC. Then we have the Provincial Nomination Program, which is what I came with. I came under the PNP. So if you've watched my videos, you've heard me mention that I came through the PNP route, the Ontario immigration route. So the OIMP, that's what I came in with. So if it's under PNP, this is for provinces selecting people that they need. So the provinces are going to go into the express entry pool and pick people within the skill sets that they are looking for. Next step you are going to do is go to canada.ca and read up. When I mean read up, do your own research, read up on the criteria yourself. So you're going to read up on the criteria that best suits you. You're going to read up on the criteria concerning the age, the education, the work experience. So go to canada.ca, read up on those criteria and make sure that you fit into all of them. On the age, the education, the work experience, and the language score. You need to understand all the criteria needed. And if you don't meet up the minimum criteria or the minimum score for these criteria that I just listed, your profile won't even stand a chance. Test is the next thing. So the language test can make or break you. It can decide your destiny in your whole application, especially if you don't have age. What I mean by if you don't have age is once you are below 30. Because once you clock 30, you start getting the deductions of points. Every birthday, you get a point deduction, which is 5 points will be removed from your CRS score. So you have options like IELTS, you have CELPIP, then you also have the French exam. So you can do TEF, you can do TCF for people who are in Nigeria. I know it's really expensive to do the French exam, but why not? If the French exam is going to give you an added point, believe me, it's worth the risk. Now, here is where strategy comes in. Currently in Canada, they are prioritizing French speakers. So if you can speak French, this goes to my friend Shoma Judy White. I know you are very good at French. You can speak French, you can write French exam. So don't ask me again, how do I come to Canada? Go and write your TEF. So this is me casting you, telling everyone about you. Go and do your TEF. Anyways, for the French speakers, Canada right now is prioritizing them. So this is your chance to increase your score significantly. If you can speak French, please go and do your TEF or TCF exam. This will boost your score. Another thing you have to do is check out French Arena. I know a lot of people that have asked me, oh, can I learn French within 3 to 6 months? I don't know. To be sincere with you guys, I tried learning French. I enrolled in Alliance Française in Enugu, and I ended up not learning anything. At least I can say bonjour. So try and learn French if you are a fast learner, especially if you are good with language. But let me be honest with you guys. I tried learning French. I did not learn anything. So if you are like me, don't just go and waste your money. But if you feel you can do it, send a DM to French Arena on Instagram. I've seen a lot of testimonials from people who used her and they did very well in their exam. So in this journey, you just have to be strategic about it. Moving on, the next step is understand what jobs Canada actually need. So when I mean what they actually need, know what is important. It's not every job or every skill that's needed right now in 2026. That's why I said, if you like, use the thing that worked for someone in 2020, it will not work in 2026. Policies are changing. This is where many people get it wrong. You use policy of 2020 in 2026. That won't work. So Canada is no longer just inviting skilled workers anyhow. No. Back in 2020, I told you guys how I got my invitation 3 times. That was because then they were just inviting based on score. So if you have a high score, you get an invite. They were just randomly picking people. But right now, it's category-based selection. So you have to fall into the skill set of the category of people they need before you get an invite. As I said earlier, they pick people in specific fields right now. Top priority areas include people in social services. So if you're a psychologist, if you are a social welfare professional, especially people who did social works, right now is the best time to migrate. People who are also into healthcare, exactly, they can also migrate right now because basically they are prioritized. Another skilled people that Canada are really interested in right now, that people under education. So if you're an ECA, education assistant, if you're an ECE holder, early childhood educator, teachers, right now, Canada is prioritizing ECEs. Next step of thing to do is your Education Credential Assessment, ECE. When I said ECE, I know people might be a little bit confused about it. So ECE are basically early childhood educators. Then ECA is your Education Credential Assessment. So here is more of a situation whereby you did your education outside Canada. You must prove to the Canadian government that, see, I have this education. Let's say you have an MSc. you have to prove that you have an MSc. So you have organization, you have bodies that can assess that your education. So we have organization like WES, World Education Services. We have MCC. Mostly people that use MCC are people who are doctors. So find the right body for you. I also made a short clip video on my TikTok about this. So you can just go straight to my TikTok and watch the video. I listed out bodies that can evaluate your education. If you don't have an ECA report, your education doesn't count. That means you don't have an education. So you must do your education evaluation to prove that you have an education. Here is all about documents. Can you prove what you are saying you have? If you cannot prove it, it doesn't count. It doesn't exist. One more thing I tell people how to be strategic is gather your documents. Like when I mean gather your documents, Canada does not work on, oh, I have experience. Hey, my brother knows I have experience. Hey, my sister. No, they want proof. They need evidence. So go on LinkedIn. I know most of us are fans of Instagram, fans of Facebook and all that, but as you're also posting on your other social media platform, I know majority of us, we don't have profiles on LinkedIn. So go on LinkedIn, optimize your LinkedIn, start posting about your career journey, start posting about your career stories, because believe me that it's easier for you if you are out there, if they can verify your background. Oh, I have a career, I'm a social worker. Where can we see that you've been doing this for 3 years? Or are you just claiming points for 3 years? So go on LinkedIn, start documenting your career growth, document everything, talk about it, post about it. Believe me, it's going to help you a lot in your application journey. Another thing I need you to also do is, as you're starting this whole journey, make sure you are discussing how to get your work reference letter. Because I've seen a situation whereby someone said, hey, my boss cannot give me a reference letter because they will not want me to leave. So make sure you are documenting. As you are documenting other things, make sure that your boss or whoever, your HR, is willing to give you a work reference letter to show that you have experience with them. Another thing is look for your employment letter. I know most of us must have just dumped our employment letter somewhere. Go and look for your employment letter, because this is also going to prove that, oh, I resumed or I started this work properly in the year so date. So your employment letter, keep it in record. Also, another thing you need to start documenting is proof of your work experience. All those job roles you are claiming that you did, that you have experience in, document them. Another thing you need is police certificate. Don't do it yet till you get an invite, but make sure that all the countries you've lived in within 6 months, let's say, oh, before you were living in Nigeria, then you migrated to UK, you lived in UK for, let's say, 1 year, then you moved back to Nigeria. Start looking for the process or steps on how to get your police certificate in UK, because that's part of the documents you will need later. Another thing you need to document, proof of fund, because people will be like, hey, is it okay when I get invite, I'll start looking for the money. No, start documenting, start bringing the money, gather the money right now, because proof of fund is really essential. If your documents are not solid, believe me, the invite will come and you get rejection. I told you guys about how I was rejected like twice. So document your everything you need right now, so that when the time comes, if the invite come, you can just start submission. So the next step for you to do right now is to create your Express Entry profile. Go back to canada.ca and click on Express Entry profile. Create your account, have your account, and be in the pool. Just as I usually say, swim in the pool. Now you are in the pool, your CRS score come to play. So here, you remember your age, you remember your education, you remember that work experience, you remember the language test we talked about. Here, this is where all this come to play. So after you've imputed all this, a score is being given to you. So if your score is below, you're not going to meet the minimum requirement. If your score is up to the minimum requirements, then you'll be in the pool. Additional factors can also help you with your express entry pool. So when I mean additional factors, I mean things like French, or if you get invited by a province that's under the PMP, if you get invited by your province, you get a whooping score of 600 points, which is not bad. So be in the pool and also pray. When I mean pray, have God at your corner all the time. I always say this. Without God, I don't think anything will be possible. So this is not time for you to start guessing. Don't guess anything. Everything must be accurate and well documented. Document everything, be in the pool, then start praying to God. Good luck. Next step is very important. That's the strategy time. This is like the absolute important thing for you to do. When I mean strategy time, I don't want you to rely on one pathway. If express entry is not working for you, let's say you don't have age, you are close to 50 and you are about to give up. This is me encouraging you not to give up. There are other pathways. It's not most everybody will come to Canada with express entry. Everybody's journey is different. So if express entry did not work for you, look into other things, look into provincial nomination programs, look into employer sponsorship. But I want you to be very careful. Just as I said earlier, if the information is not in canada.ca, please run from that person. A lot of people will be like, oh, you can get a job easy. We'll give you work permits. You will come. We'll find you work. People that are inside, how many of them really have, like, how many of them truly are doing what they want? How many? So when people give you such information, if you cannot find it in canada.ca, run. Or better still, use licensed immigration agents. I keep saying this, but people were like, oh, you're just telling us because maybe you are going to get something or they give you commission. Believe me, this is me advising you. I'm always pushing for DIY. Or not everybody can do things themselves. If you cannot, get a licensed immigration person that can help you with it. So come to my DM and say, oh, please, can you help me? I don't help people. I'm sharing my own experience so that you learn from me, and also I will make your own journey easier for you. The next step is why you must do your own research. I need you all to understand this step. This is me saying clearly, stop copying people's journey. When I mean stop copying people's journey, don't just come on this YouTube and say, I know someone he worked for. Just like me, I was binge watching videos of Tolu Lopez Solution. I watched her videos. I followed the process and everything. But somebody's journey is not your journey. You have to go on the pathway that God is directing you. So for someone in 2022, what worked for someone in 2022 cannot be working for you in 2026. So always check updates. As I said, check canada.ca every day. Let it be a habit. Go to canada.ca, check for updates. Follow policy changes. If they're changing policy, know that they're changing policy. Don't just understand your profile, because immigration process is personal. It's very personal. So your own process might not work for me, because me, I'm into healthcare, and maybe you are into finance or you are into STEM. Everybody's journey is different.